G'day guys. Okay, so I'm just very quickly showing you a few things. This is where my brain was at, okay? And this is something that I want to try and do with my pages. I want to sort of show you my jumping off point. This is what I do. I'll pull out one, two, it all depends on the layout, what I'm feeling on the day. I'll pull out some supplies and go, right, what can I do with these? Or I'll have, so today I wanted to play with washi tape, right? Now, today's my husband's birthday, and so I wanted to scrap a photo of him, and I decided that I wanted to play with the washi tapes. Now, I wanted them to have a jagged edge on the edge. So I wanted it to be straight down the right-hand side and then jagged on the left-hand side. So I've turned it upside down. But it still works perfectly, not a problem at all. Now, these washi tapes I got from KMART, and they have an Australiana sort of feel to them. There's kookaburras, there's that I just put down, that's got kookaburras on it, and what else is in there? There's cockatoos. I've used all the cockatoos though. I used them in my diary when I was setting up my diary for 2023, and I was adding some tip-ins into my diary so that I had extra space to write videos and all that sort of thing down, and I ended up using them all. But that's okay, because that's why we buy supplies, to use it. And that's what I want to do in 2023. I want to make sure that everybody, if you're spending your money on your supplies, I want to be able to give you ideas for using your supplies, because you buy them because they're beautiful. You don't buy them to just sit them on the shelf and not really use them. So that's what I'm trying to do. I bought these washies and I absolutely love them, but I wanted to do a layout with almost all of them, because at the moment I'm sort of feeling that vibe where you're using a fair bit of pattern. So now these thinner strips that I'm using, they did not come from KMART. They came, oh, sorry. I always have something in my hand while I'm talking because I've got to have my hands busy. And at the moment I'm playing with the acrylic block that I use to cut my washi tape straight. So that brown one, nah, I wasn't feeling it. It was too dark, and I wanted that metallic, that gold. I wanted it to be on there 3 times, because to my eye, I know everyone talks about the rule of 3s, but I don't even know where that came from. But for me, my eye prefers an odd number. So if I do 3, if I do 5, if I do, and because that gold was quite reflective, I wanted it to be in 3 spots. So the dark one there has got, I think it's got, I don't even know what's on that tape now off the top of my head, but I wanted to, I need to have things to match. So for example, I could have gone to my inks and done my usual border, but I wanted to use the same washi tape so that it basically, well, one, so it all matches, but I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. So it sort of pulls that color in, if that makes sense. So now you're not so much focused on the gold. You now see that sort of grassy blue-green. So you do see that. Now I needed to put my photo, I needed to mat my photo. There's Jen saying hi. Hashtag mum life. And we're on 6-week holidays, by the way, for everyone overseas. We have, here in Australia, we have, our school year goes from January to December, and we get holidays, we get school holidays over the summer, which is December through to the end of January. Our kids have off, and that way they can swim till their little heart's content and keep cool however they can do it. I have a dog trying to get in my door. Apologies if you can hear her trying to scratch her way in. And now, I'm sorry, I have to let her in. If you hear my chair creak, I apologize. It's because it's old and I haven't got a new one yet. Come on. Okay. Right. So, sorry, that was Lexi. She needs to be in with me. She has to be with me all the time. So now what I'm doing is I've actually pulled out my art options. It's called AVESTA. That's the pack that I'm using at the moment. AVESTA. AVESTA. By 49th and Market. Now these rub-ons, I absolutely love them. I really, really do. And I want to use, when I find a supply like this that I just adore, I want to use it in a bulk capacity. Like, I don't want to just use one set of leaves and then they're kind of wishy-washy. They don't really, like, why? Where did it come from? You know, like, where did that one leaf come from? I prefer to use mine where I use a heap of it all on one layout. Now, this is my preferred method when I'm going onto any form of mixed media or, for example, the washi tape. The washi tape has that plastic feel to it. So the rub-ons, I don't think the rub-ons would hang on to it very well. But that being said, I also like the ability to move my bits and pieces around until I'm happy with them. You don't really have that option with a rub-on. So, and I wanted them to be more opaque. So that way they sort of stand alone on the layout. They don't blend into the background. So that is what, if you can hear my dog walking around, it's because I haven't picked her up. She can hear that I'm doing a voiceover and I haven't picked her up. And she's now pacing the floor. So, Lex, what are you doing? Come here. Sorry, pick up my dog. Swing the chair, squeak the chair. Rightio. Okay. Her bed's not in here. So now she's wondering why I'm talking to myself. Okay, so I put the rub-ons, I popped them onto just some scratch cardboard. I actually put it onto the back of what is it? It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just some scrap white cardboard. And I like to cut it out so I can use it sort of like ephemera. And as you can see, it makes the rub-on a little bit brighter because it's on the white. And when you put it down, see how it sort of pops off the page a little bit more? If I was just putting it on, if I was just putting it down, and this is where I only do a couple and then I do a couple more because I don't want to waste my rub-ons. They're beautiful. I absolutely love them. But because it's obviously a masculine layout, I didn't want to use flowers. So I just wanted to use these leaves. And they turned out really nice. I absolutely love how they worked out. And no, I don't have I do not have the paddle pop stick thing that comes with the rub-ons because, I don't know, I probably had it in my hand and I've walked around the house with it in my hand somewhere, or I stuck it in my pocket. Who knows where it is? Jen probably come in and took it off to do something with it, to be quite honest. So I'm just fussy cutting these. Now, what else did I want to tell you guys? I am feverishly working in the background for a couple of new ideas that I'm bringing to you in 2023. I want you to enjoy your Christmas break. Enjoy, I apologize for that motorbike if you can hear that. I want you to enjoy your Christmas with your family, and I want you to have fun. But I'm also very, very acutely aware that there are some people that pop in to my channel that may not have a large family or may not live where their family is. So I will be putting up a layout for you to watch on Christmas Day, purely because sometimes we just need a little bit of something else on Christmas Day. Not everyone, Christmas Day is not always positive for everyone else. So I'm very aware of this, and I'm going to make sure that my subscribers, my followers, they've got something to watch on Christmas Day. So I did pull out my Distress Oxide, and I know you're probably looking at this going, what are you doing? I'm creating a bit of a, I'm using evergreen BOUGH, and I'm just putting a little bit of ink over the top to give me a bit of blank space to allow these leaves to pop a little bit more. And it worked a treat. It doesn't overtake the washi tape. It just gives the leaves somewhere to sit. And I absolutely love how it looks. It doesn't stick out it's not in your face when you look back, when you're looking at the layout. But again, I say, if you want to swing over to the Facebook group, the link is in the description, and or Instagram. They're my social medias that I use, and you can have a look and see the close-up photos. I quite like close-up photos because I'm able to see how it really went together, or how it really sits. And I also do the close-up photos because if I make a mistake, it is what it is. And I'm more than happy for you guys to see that and see the mistakes. So you know that just because we're on YouTube, mate, we don't always get it right the first time. Not a chance. And I don't, when I do my, I had a question about this, so I'm going to answer it. Do I pre-plan my pages? Short answer, yeah, nah. Nah, I most certainly do not. I sit down, and what grabs me on the day is what I use, and that is what I do. I have a selection of photos already printed so that I can just walk in, sit down and start recording. But I don't plan out my pages. I find I end up with a bit of a creative block if I do that. Now, how do I say this? I can obviously sit down and use the same papers over and over again. But I like to mix it up a little bit. So each layout that I do, so each video as it goes up, it usually uses different supplies, purely because if you're streaming and you're sitting there and you're like, you know what, I'm going to play this playlist and I'm going to go right through the whole thing. You don't want to see the same thing over and over and over. That being said, I do have a 6x6 paper pad series, and that series is linked all into the one album. And when you do watch that, you will see that it's the same paper pad, and I managed to use nearly that whole thing, so pretty happy with that. Now, how perfect are these words? So this is what I'm using to embellish the page. It looks so good. I was so happy with it. These are the PINKFRESH Studios Happy Hearts title ephemeras, and I actually got it in my advent calendar, and I absolutely love these colors match. I can't even explain how perfectly these all match. And because I put the gold on there, I pulled out the gold words as well, and I managed to use a lot of these words. So you may not, when you buy something like this, you might buy it with the hope of stretching the words out to use the titles, you know, for the next 12 months or whatever. I sometimes like to do something like this, and I haven't done it for a really long time, but I absolutely love using descriptive words that I love about the photo. So yeah, it turned out really, really good. For me, it's a little bit harder doing a masculine layout because obviously I have 3 girls. So I'm always going down a feminine route, and I use flowers, I use hearts, stars, all that lovey stuff. And sometimes I sort of need to sit back and go, we also scrap our husbands. So our husbands, or you might have sons, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, I want to scrap my son, but everything you scrapbook is all girly. Fair call. I don't have boys, I will be very honest. The only boys that I really could scrapbook, I have my nephew. I have a couple of nephews, but one that I see regularly all the time. And I guess I could scrap him, but I don't like putting other people's kids on my Facebook or on my videos. Now, that being said, that leads me into another question that I was going to answer, and I wanted to answer it this way because I was asked if I would do an album flip through. Now, my albums have got photos from obviously all over my friends, my family, you know, because that's what we do. So going back and going through albums, you know, maybe I could flip through my wedding album, maybe. That's one I could probably do and go through it first with some post-it notes, and, you know, maybe I could do something like that. But I don't know about, there's a couple of my albums, and there's a lot of things in those albums that I just don't have media approval to put them out. So yeah, I will continue to do layout shares, and I will have a flick through over the Christmas break and see if there's any albums that I have that I could probably flip through and show you along the way. That could work. Actually, it's all right. I'm thinking of that as I'm saying it. If that sounded like I was off with the fairies, it's because I was actually thinking about it as I was saying it to you guys. So this is pretty much my layout. Now, the only thing I do is I use my homemade gold mica spray, and I just wanted a couple of speckles just on the white bit. And be very careful with your heat gun with washi tape because it will lift it. So this is the end result. Here's the close-up for you. I will have everything listed below in the description that I used, and I hope you give this a try. It's an awesome way to use your washi tape and get a lot of pattern and colour on a layout without using lots of mixed media. So you can see a little bit of that Distress Oxide there, but it's not taking over. And I just wanted to zoom in here and show you the homemade glitter spray that I make. It doesn't leave that oily film. You know, there's some that you used to get and it used to leave like an oily ring on your layout. The one that I make, it doesn't do that. So just FYI, because I did have a question about that as well. So this one is for you guys, and I will be back tomorrow with another layout, and I hope you have a great week in the lead up to Christmas 2022. And what else can I tell you? Oh, shameless plug. Forgot the shameless plug. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'll always get back to you. Jump over to Facebook or Instagram because I reply there too, and I will chat to you later. Bye for now.